Welcome back to the Boomerang Podcast. I'm Matt Geiger, and I'm here with my buddy,
William Jackson.
Bill Jackson. El Capitan. Good to have you, man.
Hey, man. Thank you for coming by.
Absolutely. Bill's
having a blast out here in Phoenix.
We're taking Bill up to Sedona over the weekend.
That's really going to be a blast.
Been fun. But today, we wanted to talk about just some topics. You actually brought these up, and I thought these were just really interesting because it's like the news cycle is complete nonsense. It's complete bullshit. And it's like there's the story that everybody sees in the newspapers and on the fake news channels, and then there's something else going on. So what are we talking about today? We got
we got the Epstein list that came out, right?
Right.
Everybody knows the Epstein list. And all the names that, if you're paying attention, you already knew the names that were on the list anyway.
We knew them about, 4 years ago, 5 years ago?
Something like that. But in the, just this happened this past week news is what happened in Miami with 9-foot creatures, a shooting happening in a mall in Bayfront, in downtown Miami.
About 1 billion cop cars?
Yeah, something like that. At least 100. I counted at least 50, and I know there was another row of another 50 that I didn't count.
What do you think happened there? What went on? You know the area. You're from there.
I was supposed to actually be down there for New Year's running a yacht, and by God's grace, the mom decided to literally not want to go out all night. She wanted to be back by 11. So I literally ran a yacht on New Year's.
Go into that mic so
9
everybody
o'clock.
can hear your beautiful, sweet, tender voice.
I ran a yacht from 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock. The least amount of time I've ever had to work on New Year's as being a professional yacht captain. Kind of an amazing year, to be honest with you.
Absolutely. So we saw these cop cars. Do you think that there was maybe an incident somewhere else and this was just the distraction?
Well, they said that there was kids with sticks. But the response, Miami usually responds pretty heavy. And, 10, 15, 20 cop cars will show up to a disturbance like that and clear things out because they're pretty efficient, too.
Right.
To be honest. But whatever got called, I don't know. The cop presence was that's just the tip of the iceberg on this little coinky-dink thing.
Right.
Because they shut down
the airspace. The
entire airspace. No flights in and out of Miami. The only thing that was flying was these black helicopters that were reported. And then there's been a person that actually heard the 911 calls, and people sounded terrified. And they were shooting back at these 9-foot, 10-foot creatures. So, Nephilim, bizarre. That's what's being thrown out there, Nephilim.
Yeah, I've heard those ideas. I actually am a believer in those theories. I know it's a little out there for some people.
I believe in the Bible, so I definitely believe in Nephilim. Now, whether they're still around, I have no idea. Whether this is part of where they're getting ready for Project Bluebeam, and
it's such a taboo subject for people because it's like it's so against like traditional thinking that people don't want to touch it. But I've been open to that stuff. Bill and I have great conversations. We talk practically every day of the week.
We do.
You're always keeping me updated. It's like I stay busy here in the storefront. And you're keeping me updated on all the relevant stuff, and it's awesome.
And it's crazy because it goes across, the fallen angels in the 200. A lot of the King James Version believers nowadays that believe in the KJV or the new King James, which kind of changes the language a little bit so people can understand it maybe a little better. My thought is you should learn some Old English. It's not that many words. But long story short, there's only 66 books in that King James Version. There's books that were left out from the 80 original. Even the King James did change what he changed in the King James Version. But the council in, I think, 1787, somewhere around there, I have a thing we could post and actually get a graphic up there. But around 1787, there was a council that came out and said, nope. We don't want the Apocrypha. We don't want the Book of Enoch. We don't want, And the Book of Enoch goes into a lot of the fallen angels and the Nephilim and their stories.
It's interesting stuff. I bought Dr. Ken Hovind's creationist stuff, so I got to watch that. You saw the DVDs at my house.
I did.
I got to get into that.
It's a big stack. It's a lot of research, and with your time,
it's
short as
that's why I did it on DVD. Yeah, that's why I did it. I just wanted to watch it. But moving along, I wanted to talk about how Mr. T, because that's what we have to call him, Mr. T lays out the entire report of swing states' voting irregularities that are completely unreconcilable.
Exactly. And this is all being laid out because he's able to have his day in court and these, revelations can come out through those proceedings.
Right.
But, of course, nobody's talking about that. We're talking about aliens walking around Miami and Epstein's list.
Exactly.
And then, of course, Ray Epps. Ray Epps included all
he lives out here,
documents of why the FBI did not investigate. I'd love to see that.
I'd love to see that. Those. Because you have, what's his name, the head of the FBI, Christopher Wray, not answering the question when they asked him directly, under oath,
yes,
whether or not the FBI had assets in there. And in my judgment, right, because we got to say it that way, in my judgment, Ray Epps is probably the tip of the iceberg in terms of people on the ground.
There are so many unindicted co-conspirators in that case that it's a travesty of justice. We've all seen the video of the cops high-fiving and uncuffing the people and doing the high fives. We've all seen it.
And then you had fake Joe Biden out there, I think today or yesterday, celebrating the fact that they gave Mr. T supporters, I think, somewhere around 900 years in prison. Going and boasting about that. These people are sick. Yep. These people are out of their minds. Okay, moving along. Law firm representing Burisma has lawyered up and registered under FARA, which means they are nervous regarding impeachment inquiry.
Yes.
What do you think's happening there?
Well, that whole Burisma thing is just a hornet's nest waiting.
Because that's not just Hunter. That's, to my understanding, that's Kerry's kids, Pelosi's kids.
Yeah, there's so much nepotism. That's what.
Yeah, they're all in these natural gas companies.
I mean, what's it, the California? Newsom. I mean, everybody. This is their hornets nests everywhere. I don't know which one they're going to kick.
You know what I like about it? These pieces of what went after the Trump kids for years. What they've done to Eric Trump. I heard Trump, Mr. T, talking about Eric and how he's been served. He's like the king of getting served.
Yeah, the most served
man in history. I mean, it's disgusting. I don't know Eric personally. We have the same birthday. But you can see he's a good guy. I saw a video of him years ago, before Mr. T ever ran for president. And here he is he's at one of the, golf clubs that they have, one of many. And the interviewer starts asking him, like, very technical questions about, like, the types of grass. And he just recites it. He's like, I'm like, damn, this guy is smart. This guy really knows what he's doing. So I know that guy, for what he's been through. So seeing these corrupt political families having their kids implicated in criminality, not just, let's just go after them for the sake of going after them, but implicated, it is, I'm starting to feel like there's a sense of justice coming. I'm starting to feel it. Oh. I'm feeling good about things, Bill.
Like we got sent a little meme from Juanito right around Christmas. And it was Trump in a Santa hat. It said, it's beginning to sound a lot like I told you so.
Yes, you showed me that.
It is definitely beginning to sound a lot like I told you so.
That is so funny. And then, what do we want to move on? Do we want to move on to the secret migrant center in Phoenix?
Yeah, because I hadn't heard about that, and apparently you did.
Well, so
because you live here, so this is local news.
So I had done a lot of flying over the summer and into the latter part of last year, maybe through November. I took a couple trips, went to Hawaii for, 10 days. It's fantastic. We did the Arkansas trip. And it was on the Arkansas trip because I fly out of Sky Harbor right here. That's where everybody flies. That's the major airport. And I have photos. I could show it on my phone. Maybe we'll edit this in. But I'm seeing these, clearly illegals. Nothing, whatever. It's a bunch of girls with their kids, but their luggage was potato sacks. They're literally potato sacks. And it's like on the one hand you feel for them, and it's like you want to help people when you can, but it's on the other. It's like, do people understand like even if you're for illegal immigration, like let's say you're the most virtuous person in the world and you're for it. I mean, do people not understand that there are major economic consequences to bringing all these people in?
Yes.
You are literally are importing a state of you're importing a welfare state.
Oh yeah,
and all it does is just
a group of people that really aren't able to support themselves. Can't whether through language barriers or whatever, just assimilate into our culture easily.
Help the veterans.
There's so many barriers, and we're from Miami. I got a lot of Cuban friends. And a lot of Cuban friends, man, that aren't legal yet. They're not legal because their parents never had the $750 to get them legal.
Right.
So there's stories like that too, man. It goes both ways. And, you know, there's definitely got to be a meeting ground in the middle because, like, I don't want to see my 27-year-old friend that's been here for 27 years, came here as a baby, right, get deported back to Cuba because of something stupid, and then never had the $750, or her parents never had the extra $750 to do just the paperwork.
Yeah. Yeah, there's those stories, and it's like, look, you feel for everybody, but at the same time, the law is a law, and there is a line that you have to draw in the sand. And really the better way to help people would be to help them in their own countries, right? Instead of America bringing war and famine to all these countries, we should be bringing them prosperity, right? And there's ways of doing that through diplomacy, through, right? That's where I think Mr. T's thinking is.
I think if we remove the Satanistic control of cabal
they don't want that.
Over the entire world, all these countries would probably be flourishing.
Well, I want to wrap up with this, and I want to play a quick clip, and this was the Bannon video.
Yes, this was amazing
from
stuff.
June 4th of 2020, and we just saw this today. Our friend Tom Numbers, thank you, Tom. He had sent us this. He had sent me this video last night, and Bill's, of course, staying with me right now on his little vacay out here in Arizona.
In the new federal state of China on 4 June 2020 in Beijing. This is the preface. It is the whistleblowers movement that has brought us together in order to realize the rule of law, democracy, and freedom in the new federal state of China. The free Chinese throughout the world and in China have established the Himalaya Supervising Organization. During the past 3 years, Mr. Miles Guo and myself have founded and led the whistleblowers movement that exposed the illegitimacy and the true evil nature of the Chinese Communist Party.
He sent us this video, and what was your take on this? This was Steve Bannon and what looked like, a Chinese national, maybe somebody from their government, saying that there's a new party that's taking over China, and it's no longer going to be the CCP. And this is 2020. It's no longer the CCP. It's the New Republic of China. In other words, they're getting constitutional property rights, right? We'll put the link in the description below. Everybody should watch this entire thing.
That kind of blew my mind. This is something from 2020, June 4th, right?
June 4th.
So during the pandemic in New York, in the harbor, on a boat, and he's talking about how the CCP is gone. It's been replaced with a new, constitutional republic.
They're getting land rights, freedoms once again. So, it just tells you, it made me think, we're kind of discussing this right before we came in here, is like, okay, well, if that's the case, then take something like the BRICS nations who are using the Chinese gold-backed yuan to buy oil, right? Who's really in control of that? Is it the CCP or is it this new Republic of China?
And
I don't know.
In that token, going down that same
That's your monetary
path.
system right there. That's the future of the monetary system.
And then who's in control of that?
Exactly. Who? Mr. T? Is Mr. T? Right? It'd be the perfect way to get all this stuff done and be completely out of the picture.
Not that they worked that out during that world tour or anything. I have no idea, man. I don't know. I'm just as confused as you are.
It just shows you the type of deception, and deception in a good way, that could be going on. And that's how these guys are dealing, because they can't do the stuff out in the open. They have to do it under.
Well, Trump said that when he first came into office, we would never know his military plans anymore.
Right.
He took that off the table.
What do you know? Yeah, we're not
Stop telling the enemy what we're doing.
Stop telling the enemy what we're going to do.
What a concept.
We'll talk about it once the job is done. I love that. And you know what? It's like you have to listen to what that guy says, because he's always foreshadowing to the future, I feel like.
Yep.
Right? It's almost like he's foreshadowing for what's to come. And that's why it's like, when you understand the stuff that we've come to understand, it's exciting. It's like,
it is.
This stuff is exciting to me.
It is. Scary, obviously, man. This is going to be a rocky time. So if you have wealth in the bank, from me, and this is not anything to do with, but if you have wealth in the bank, get it out. Because those digital ones and zeros, when they flip the switch and it's gone, it's gone.
Yeah, I did that. I just wrote that article for George. And that's what I talked about, is that, our banks, our financial institutions, it's all deep state controlled. And it's like, these guys are not going to go quietly into the night. These guys are not going to just give up control. They're going to tear down anything that they have their hands in. So yeah, thank you for the Midas Gold Group plug and the hat, right? We gave Bill the Midas hat.
Well, this is my my interview outfit. I got the
Gideon's Army.
I honestly believe that I am Gideon's Army. Part of the 200 or whatever. I mean, I saw this a long time ago, and thanks to my wife, we went down the rabbit holes together. So it's been a great journey, when you can do that.
And we got a chance. We became friends last year.
Absolutely.
We got to know each other.
And it's a shame that, where we got to know each other, we noticed the same thing. There's a bunch of females. That are waking up, and the males are not.
Yeah.
Males that took an oath to the Constitution. I'm starting to get a little upset with them because they haven't been relieved of that oath. So if you're shown information and you don't look at it, man, that's willful ignorance. And it's literally worse than stupidity. I'd rather deal with a stupid person than a willfully ignorant person.
Yeah.
Look at what we're showing you. Look at it. Discern it.
Yeah.
Use your common sense. And you'll probably come to the same conclusion we have. I mean...
And definitely take a look at that Bannon video, because we're not doing it justice right now. Watch that video, because that information is complete. And we just learned about it today. Tom sent it to or last night. Tom Numbers sent it to me last night, and I was like, he had the hardest time trying to find this video. And I think everybody should watch it, because it turns everything you think you know on your head.
Let My People Go .movie. www.letmypeoplegO.movie. David Clements Project. The man's amazing. Gave up his life, sacrificed his life for his morals and his values, and for our country. So go check it out. I think you guys will be impressed. And
buy it if you can.
Yes, buy it if you
Purchase
can.
it. It's like
purchase it.
With the discount,
pay it forward if you can. And let me know if you need a copy, and I'll buy it for you.
Yeah, you know what? We'll put a link to his site, David K. Clements' site. And if you have an extra $10, buy the thing, because it's an incredible movie. It's packed with information. And for a guy who literally gave up his life and is under just as much fire as probably Mr. T, or close to it, those are the people we want to support. And I would suggest anybody watching this make that purchase. It's, $10-15, whatever it is. But Bill, thank you very much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
We're going up to Sedona this weekend. Maybe we could do a little show up in Sedona.
That would be fun.
Maybe we'll do a little thing from the house.
Part two.
It's beautiful up there.
There's probably going to be some WTF news between now and then.
Yeah, the WTF news. Nino. Very good, guys. Thank you for watching. And by the way, if you want to get in touch with us, Midas Gold Group, you can text Boomerang to 232425. Or you can just call my direct phone number. I answer all my own phone calls. It's 480-725-0536. And we will see you on the next episode. Salute.